can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
I'm Wes.
Well, you haven't been here.
I know. I got lost.
So
crazy.
tell everyone what's been going on with you.
Now, when we had that big freeze, came through town, we had some damage.
Months ago.
You had
a little damage.
And finally getting insurance settled and workers come work on the house. But that means we're now kicked out, and I'm now 40 minutes away from Matt's house versus the 2-minute drive it took before.
And you had some time getting everything situated and getting everything moved around, I remember. It's
Yeah,
kind of busy the past couple.
And with
especially
work,
the past couple weeks.
they've said, hey, Bruce, we appreciate all you're doing, so we want you to work more. How's 60 to 70 hours a week sound?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So sounds
like
tiring.
time and a half. I'm not in my college days like I used to. And it's fun. So how long will it take for them to fix everything? How big a project are we talking about? They have to totally redo it, right?
Yeah, basically we have to all the floors and downstairs, most of the cabinets.
And this is the weird thing about this. This is fairly a new house.
It's 6 years.
6 years old. And it has those problems.
Well, it's because it had a water leak from a busted pipe.
Okay. I mean,
messed up all the floors. And the thing is, the kids kind of did a hard damage on some of the stuff that we were looking and thinking, hey, we probably need to replace some of this one day. So part of us is like, it's nice. We need this done anyway.
Yeah, get this done anyway.
But the contractor got back with us, and because of all the stuff happening in the world today, he was like, expect major delays. All my projects are getting delayed.
Right, because everything. I read this. There's a shortage in construction workers.
The cost of material,
which is coming. The cost of material is coming down.
Yeah, that's
but there's a
fix.
Vast shortage in construction right now, which is, I don't know, kind of weird.
I mean, it's in a lot of different markets.
Yeah, but
there's shortages in the places that make the lumber. There's shortages of workers in all kinds of markets.
Everything's short. Everyone's looking for hiring stuff. So, everyone get to working in construction because you're going to work on our houses. Let me ask you this: did William come up? Did I miss William?
He was here a week ago or so.
Okay. Is he still around?
He's still doing his thing.
Good. His thing. Does he listen to the podcast?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to make a little William joke on him, but I was really hoping,
He doesn't have Apple, so no iTunes, and he doesn't watch anything on YouTube, so no YouTube.
What an old fart.
I know.
He needs to get with it. Get with the social media.
Move over to Spotify,
the digital age.
Or he's not going to pay attention to us.
Like me on YouTube and nothing else.
We're waiting for that Joe Rogan money before we go to Spotify.
Yeah, I'm sure we're right behind Joe Rogan. Maybe a few spots behind him a little bit there.
We'll take 1/10 of that.
We'll take it. Oh, yeah. I'll the episode for 1%.
It's a deal, Spotify.
Even. Yeah.
Feel free to offer. Send us offer.
I'll give you 10% off. So I thought we'd do a little movie catch-up. About that time. That may be a part 1, part 2 to this. I don't know, because we listed a whole bunch of stuff that we've been watching lately.
Well, we listed a bunch of stuff, and then stuff I said, I plan on getting to that eventually.
Well, some of that stuff we're going to hold off on, but the first one we kind of already talked about a little bit, but I want to talk about it first, just get out of the way, is Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
I want to talk about, first off, Zack Snyder's one of his only good films. He only had 2 good films, in my opinion. 300 and Dawn of the Dead, I think, are fantastic.
I think those are good movies.
I could watch 300 a million times over, and Dawn of the Dead is so fantastic. You drugged me to the theaters to see that one, I remember, because you're like, dude, we got to see this. I was like, no, it's just a remake, and remakes suck. But then that was the first time we saw the fast-moving zombie. Is that correct?
No,
or was it 28 days later?
One of those.
It was. Well, those came out about the same times. It's hard to tell, but to be honest, the first, 10 minutes, and you're like, what just happened?
I do remember, because they released the first 10 minutes online
on
when
USA.
It took,
USA
4 hours to download.
USA Network released the first 10 minutes.
I do remember watching that, and it's like, this
and I was
looks
like,
good.
What just happened? In 10 minutes, that's the opening of the film. It's fantastic. And by the way, I still love Dawn of the Dead. That may be one of my favorite zombie movies, period.
It's good.
Now, the
I
remake.
still prefer slow zombies, but
Oh, no. I love them too, but
I'm not anti-fast.
As movies go, I just love Dawn of the Dead. So I was, and I don't like Zack Snyder. I've not made a secret of that, but I was interested in Army of the Dead because, and it didn't, the trailer did not look good, but I was like, you know what? It's a nice idea. They're just trying to rob a bank. in the middle of a zombie-geddon. But you know what? I like that. I like the premise. I said, okay, the trailer isn't catching me, but I like the premise, and Zack Snyder did deliver on Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
So I need to forget because my expectations were super low for Dawn of the Dead.
You
It
know,
was
some
great.
expectations that maybe it's part of that same world. It's not, but you know.
It sucks. It is so stinking
I only
bad.
watched, like
only watched,
maybe I watched until they were getting about to go into Vegas.
I wish I would have stopped there.
Yeah, it to me the movie felt like it was made by someone who learned to make movies by watching Zack Snyder films. It felt kind of like a cheap version of Zack Snyder. I mean, did he really get
Yes.
behind the camera on this thing? You know, I've seen all of his movies, and this one, it felt like a cheap imitation Zack Snyder film.
It did, and so many cliches in this one. Like nothing is a surprise. Everything is goes exactly all the tropes, all the character jokes, the story. I mean, there's nothing original in this one, and it's just beat for beat, word for word. It's like someone watched, like you said, a bunch of Zack Snyder movies, but they watched some heist movies. They said, okay, I need this guy. I need the funny guy who doesn't know violence. He's just a smart guy. I need this guy. I need the tough girl. I need the, okay, I've seen Aliens. Yes. So I don't know. It's just there's so many things, and then I don't know. In fact, it was a lot like Aliens. Now that I think about it, well, you think about the corporate stooge who betrays and everything, and they had that, and they even called it. They said, "I think he's gonna betray us." Well, we don't know that yet. We'll keep an eye on it.
And it was pretty obvious when they introduced him as a character. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly. You know,
he's that
built,
guy.
He's built to be that guy, and so I was expecting him to turn out to be the hero. You know, something we wouldn't see, especially when they call it out saying we think he's a traitor. I was like, okay, well, obviously he's going to prove him wrong. When he can kill him, he'll save him instead. No, there are no surprises. There's no originality here. It's almost, and I do. Did Zack Snyder just say, yeah, here, give me your money, thank you. Hey, assistant, shoot this film. I'm going to be in my trailer.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
I need to count my money. Hey, release the Army of the Dead Snyder Cut. Let's get that going.
No, we got to get back to the Snyderverse.
Goodness
DCU
gracious.
Snyderverse is
Yeah.
I'm there.
No, I am not there. Let's talk about other things. Let's see which one. Let me go because I saw this one you didn't. Ice Road. Liam Neeson, run of the mill. I think this one was made for Netflix, wasn't it, or something? Hulu?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was made for streaming though.
It's
I think it
possible
was.
these days.
But it's your regular,
It's what
Liam
he's doing these
Neeson. he's trucking, he's seeking revenge later on, but he's on the ice roads. You remember the Arctic Truckers TV show, and it's based off that. I'll be honest, it's fun. Most
of his movies are fun.
They remind me of the late '90s, early 2000 run-of-the-mill action, Harrison Ford action movies.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson delivers again. It's fun. He's got his tough thing. He's a trucker this time. He's a trucker who's on his own, but he's trying to do this one job, a dangerous job, and then he'll buy his own truck. Come on, Chewie. We'll pay off at Jabba the Hutt and get this done. I mean, honestly, it's like Han Solo, just in a diesel truck. But it's got a lot of fun moments. It's got a lot of fun fight scenes. And the whole thing is just, it's fun. It's fun. The whole time I told Meg, I said, he cannot make a bad film. I'm waiting to be bored with a film of his. Is this great? Is this Taken? Is this, insert best movie ever? The Gray. No.
Cold Pursuit.
No, Cold Pursuit is one of his best. It is one of his best. It is no Cold Pursuit, okay? But it's still, it's like The Commuter and all his other little ones. I've enjoyed every single one. So I can't believe he's still, what is he, 60 now? He's got to be in the 60s.
He's got to be getting on up there. Eventually, well, I guess we'll talk about Christopher Lloyd later.
Yeah, we'll talk about him later. But, I mean, the thing is, though, Ice Road, folks, worth your time. Great popcorn movie. So you saw one that I didn't see, and it's called Love and Monsters. What's this about?
Okay, Love and Monsters. Okay, there's an asteroid headed to Earth. So as us, smart, intelligent people, we're going to protect the Earth. And this is just the opening credits. Shoot up missiles to destroy the asteroid, protect the Earth. Works, yay! But then all the chemicals and stuff from the missiles we shot up rain back down and mutate all the cold-blooded creatures. And so they all mutate into
what, mini Godzillas?
I mean, it would with the length of some of these centipedes and whatnot. Yeah, most of them are like car size or whatever.
Right.
Ants, frogs, millipedes, centipedes. And just kind of these mutated versions.
Is this a Brody? Your son? Is this a Brody movie?
We did watch it. But the thing is, Brody liked the monster part. Annabelle watched it. And she liked the love part. Now,
Where's the love?
the love is that okay? Now, when this mutation starts to happen, people are forced to evacuate the cities, find
Right.
shelter, underground bunkers, and whatnot.
Until what? The army exterminates them, or this goes away?
No,
or
no, this is the world
their
that
new
we
life.
live in. This is where we live in.
Okay.
But there's the boy and the girl who are young teenage love, and they get pulled away to when their families go off in different directions, and then he
Okay.
gets a radio signal, and she knows where she is. And he's the coward of the group, but he's protected by all these real tough macho people that are
Right.
in
They're
his
teenagers?
silo with him. No, these are he's mixed in with older people. He's like the young. He's the young guy.
he's the young guy. He's the teenager. He's the 20.
But he's the only one that doesn't have a couple. Everybody's coupled up, and so he's always the lone guy.
Okay.
And then he gets a radio signal, finds out he knows where his girl from.
his honey is.
This is 7 years later. Living in the
gosh.
world. Yes,
Okay.
yes, living in the world. And he now knows where the girl is. And then the signal gets cut off in the middle of talking with her, and so he decides, I'm going to get there. It's 85 miles away. Everybody's like, this is a death sentence, you can't go. So
Right.
he's going to travel the planet side and try to get to her. And Michael Rooker's in it for a little bit. He's a very fun, enjoyable time to teach the boy how to live in the world.
I bet he's fun.
But the thing is,
he's a fun actor.
it's called Love and Monsters, but when you get back and think about it, American, English language has, love, but love for pizza is not the same as love for your wife or love for your child. And so the movie
I
really
guess not.
explores it. It's like, what is proper good love? And it actually does a really good job of like when he gets there and he actually learns what real love is through versus what he's, feeling. And it's a good movie. I highly recommend it.
Okay. Interesting. This came out Netflix. What is it?
No, it was a limited release movie back in December.
A movie?
Release
Release where?
in theaters.
What's a theater?
The handful of theaters that played stuff.
What?
Late last year.
Unbelievable.
But it's out on you can get it Redbox and streaming
Really?
services.
Is it really? Okay, right on. Well,
The thing is, it's funny and has good heart.
okay. And it comes Annabelle and Brody approved.
Both of them enjoyed it.
Both of them enjoyed it. Good. Right on. All right. So, the one that Megan made me see was Netflix's highly hyped Fear Street, the Goosebumps. From the Goosebumps, R.L. Stein. They took his series.
got me
Supposedly
sold.
it was this. I don't know Goosebumps.
I know Goosebumps.
I was too
'cause
old for Goosebumps.
I've had many generations of kids like Goosebumps.
Okay. And but supposedly there was a Fear Street series, like 20 books or whatever.
Yeah, I knew it existed.
He would keep going back to Fear Street. It
Yeah.
was like a series of things that would happen on Fear Street, of unfortunate events that would happen on Fear Street. So they basically tried to, and some of them were in the past, some were in the future. So, I mean, some were in the to present or whatnot. But he kind of went all through the years. There's anyone who's lived on Fear Street or something on Fear, whatever it was. That little world he kept going back to. There was always tales to tell throughout the years, starting in the 90s and going all the way back. So what they did is they said, hey, let's do Goosebumps, but everyone's older now. So all the kids who read that are older now. So we need to make it R-rated. Okay? So let's do this. Okay, let's do it. So they came out with 1994, 1978, and 1966. They aired backwards. 1994 is the first one. Then 1978. Then 1666. All right. So it starts with the order. Okay, great. You know what? That's unique. I watched the trailer to 94, didn't like it, but the idea, the concept's
fine.
that okay, so we're going to be revealing more as we go back in time, all the way to the origin, and we're going to find okay, I'm in it. Let's do it. And so 94. Okay. By the way, don't watch these. Spoiler alert. Don't watch them. They're garbage. But so we go to 1994. You remember 1994?
I do. I graduated that year.
Yeah, 1994, and everything was PC. Remember how accepting we were of, everyone and everyone's preference and stuff like that, and it was totally cool. It was normal in 1994. By the way, there was not as PC minded in 94 as they are today. So they took people. They said, "Hey, we can't do 90s though."
No,
We gotta
back
make
in
it very
'94, the idea of PC was just stupid.
Yeah, but no one did it. But everyone lives by this PC motto here, and so because we don't. No one. Did you know that no boy ever oogled a woman? No boy in the 90s. We were all. It was chivalry. You don't oogle women. Women were.
That was considered noble.
Construction worker. Yeah, construction workers never whistled or catcalled. That'd be rude. And everyone was like, I'm glad they painted this wonderful picture of '94. Anyway, they said, hey, go out and buy as many rights to 90s music as you can. They said, okay. And so they went out. Oh, they amassed. It'd fill up 3 soundtracks worth. And they went, this is great. Oh man, how are we going to put all this? How are we going to put all these songs in here? We only have 20 minutes to do all these songs, so let's just do one for a few seconds, and then as we change the camera angle, do a different song, and then when we release our camera angle, stop following that person, we go to someone new and we change the music again. That way we can use all this music we bought in 20 minutes. The music, you're like, oh, I remember this, but I'm a freak, glycerine. Wait, what happened? Now we've changed camera angles. So they ram as much 90s music nostalgia down your throat. Say, it's 90s. Yay! You remember the 90s? Yeah! Even though no one's 90s. No one's 90s. Everything's just cultural, PC. It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful world. It's the world of Star Trek. Is what it is in '94, because that's exactly how the
problem with Hollywood is they can't think outside the own box that they live in today to imagine a different world that people think differently than they think.
We're accepting of everyone, even their issues and whatnot, even their shortcomings. We don't make fun of anyone. So, and that's what it was. There was no bullying in the '90s, none at all. But anyway, it's horrible. The kids are awful. You don't care about either. You don't care. There are 2 kids. They're drug dealers, basically. They deal drugs at school. Okay, well, I just pointed at Megan. I said, they're dying. Well, let me just say that you're supposed to like them during the movie. They're the one's the comedic relief, and the other one's kind of funny too, and tough girl. And first I was thinking about abandoning my friend, but now I'm not. So they're now not cowards. They're fighting with them. They're staying with them. They're friends to the end. And so that when they die, because they do die, you're supposed to feel sorry for them. They were dealing drugs to kids. It's high school. Why should I feel sorry for them?
But it's okay now. That's okay.
But it's okay because, to be honest, the stars do not mourn their loss. They seem to go, oh man, they died. Oh man, these were good friends. All right, so what do we do next? Okay, so here's what we have to do. And that's it. It's like toodles. See ya. It's horrible. It's horrible. And by the way, you've seen Scream? So did they. They have the poor band Scream running. Obviously, now they probably took this from 1994. Scream had come out, right?
Yes.
So it's obvious they were heavily influenced by Scream because there's a guy running around in a mask. It's a skull mask, though, not a Scream mask. Skull mask.
Completely different.
Waving a knife around like a rabid killer. Of course, he kind of... he's moving here and there. You see something in the shadow. Hello? Who's there? And then run real quick. And then here comes the skeleton mask behind her. And she's running away in slow motion as he's coming up behind her and stabs her in the chest. I was like, wait. Was Drew Barrymore not able to make it for this reshoot?
She probably wasn't.
Probably wasn't. But the thing is, though, and then we had to do Blair. They obviously saw Blair Witch in every movie from the early 2000s because it does the whole.
Because we're doing the 90s.
We did it, guys. We solved the crime, and then at the end, 90s rock credits. That's it. That's part one. Part one down.
And now we have to go to the past.
We hear about all these instances throughout the years. One of them happened in 1978. Kids at a camp got slaughtered. But the thing is, that's not pointed. That's not that's like, this is where it all began, or this is where it went south, or something like that. There's nothing significant. It's just mentioned in a long list of other things that have happened in this town. So it's like, okay, there's got to be some significance, right? Well, the lone survivor was from 1978, we find out. So then, all right, we go to, and by the way, so we go to 78, and Megan's like, well, I hear this 94 was the worst one. I said, well, they got that right. So watch 78. Okay, someone sat down, and they watched Friday the 13th, and they went, okay, I got it, I'll make a movie. But, remember in 1978, they were very PC.
Yes, they
Except
were.
in one another. Now, there were some mean kids who made fun of the other side kids, but it wasn't because they were different, just because they were from a different town.
Oh,
And that's why they made fun of them. It wasn't because they're fat or they're dumb or they wear glasses. Because you remember in 78, they really respected everyone.
that's right. That's why Jason Voorhees didn't exist.
And we surely do not show nudity in these because that's just oogling women. So of course, the women stay dressed. I mean, even though we understand
Very
they were
common in
naked,
70s movies.
but they make sure they get dressed, and you don't show anything. Yeah, in the 70s they didn't show anything either.
Now, off
in those movies.
the side, I just watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 70s, PG.
Yeah.
Boobs.
Boobs, yeah. But don't
PG
worry.
is different in the 70s.
This one's rated R, and there's no nudity. Rest assured, we're not gonna demean women this way. Because in the 70s, they didn't. They didn't demean women at all. So it feels like they all dressed up in 70s outfits and did 2021 movie in 70s outfits. But we got our 70s music. You don't know most of it because no one was born. I mean, people were born around then. The age I think they were going for was that 94. They weren't born in 78. Or if they were, they obviously don't recall that. That's not a beloved decade or whatever time. But the thing is, it's totally generic. And it wasn't what it was built up to be. They still didn't make this is the big slaughter. Yeah, a lot of kids died, but not all of them. I thought all of them died. And that's why it was the big slaughter. No, just a handful of them died. Maybe more. I don't know, about a handful. And then, it was really bad, though. Okay, there's nothing significant. I mean, there's a little bit more of the tales. A little bit more of we're unwrapping this witch who was cursed in 1666, and she cursed the town, and it's still the witch, and you have to put the witch's body to rest, and it's just class. You've seen any 2000s horror movie, you've seen this movie. And so then it ends. And it has a beginning and an end with the kids from 94, because we can't let them go. And by the way, they're totally okay. They're making jokes right now. They're making snide remarks because they're hearing the story of the survivor from 78. And so they're making jokes, trying to figure out what happened. I'm thinking, hey, you do know, like, in real time, your best friends just died. But that's okay, because we don't have time to do that. So the main character, who looks oddly like if Sylvester, I looked it up. She's not Sylvester Stallone's daughter, but she has a face like Sylvester Stallone, and
attractive.
She snarls, or how
You're starting to sell me on this.
I know. You know how Stallone talks out of the side of his mouth. Yo, where'd you at? Yeah, that's how she talks, and she talks like this. And and her girlfriend has been possessed. So she's trying to. No, my girlfriend will not be taken by this. I love her, and we're going to be together. And I don't. They tie her up with a telephone line. A cord.
Yeah, that makes sense for the 70s.
No, it wasn't the 70s. This is in the 90s. They wrapped her one of those 6
I thought
foot.
we were talking about the 70s.
Well, I know, but it flashes back to 94.
Okay.
They've wrapped her up in a telephone cord.
Well, we still had those in the 90s. But we were kind of mostly wireless.
Remember tying people up where they couldn't get out of the telephone cord? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
best you treated your brothers differently than I did.
Then at the end of 78, she finally lays the witch to rest, but then she has a flashback. She wakes up in the body of the witch in 66, and then it goes boom. Then 70s music plays. So what they did for 1666, they didn't get new actors. They put all the actors from the previous 2 shows and put them in as the townsfolk. It's a bunch of kids, but playing husbands, wives.
That makes sense.
And they're awful. Now it's all the kids doing Scottish accents or wherever they're from, and you don't know what you're saying. And I'm like, oh no, this looks bad. This looks really bad. And so everything is awful. Oh, but we still, because remember, and I'm sorry, I forgot, the theme is drugs and drinking. It fits in the 70s, fits in the 90s. And so in 1666, they're like, oh, geez, they didn't have drugs. What do we do? We'll say they're these weird berries. They eat them, and that's how they get high. Why do we have to have this common thing where people are getting high? And because that's what they do. They have their own little swill, their local wine that the kids like to party with, but then they take these special berries that tripping out. Another drug scene for 1666. I don't get.
You got to be consistent.
I know, and cussing too, because that's what they did. And so,
I bet they use the same modern curse words that you would use today.
And then there's a twist at the origin. It's not the witch who's the bad guy, but you don't care at this point because it's just so bad. And then it flashes to 1994 where the movie does not. The whole time I'm begging this movie to end. I'm begging this movie to end. After an hour and a half, you're thinking, finally. Nope. 1994 part 2. Wait, part 2, so it's on for another 45 minutes to an hour. You're like, oh gosh, just end it. And they finally do, and you don't care. You don't care. It's the worst. It is the worst thing. I mean, Netflix, I wonder if they knew they had a stinker, and that's why they promoted it so much, just to see if people would, if they could fool people. But even, I don't know, I'd love to talk to a Goosebumps fan and see if that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
If that's what they wanted in their thing. I mean, it's just so bad.
Now, the thing is, when you first gave me the idea of what the show was, I was actually kind of interested, and
It was, and like I said, the premise sounded interesting, but I watched the 94 trailer. I was like, ooh, that looks awful. But Megan wanted to see it, so we did. And then we unfortunately watched the other ones. Speaking of disappointments, let's talk about Conjuring 3.
Well, it's hit or miss, but it's definitely miss.
Oh, it is a huge
The thing
miss.
is, it's not scary at all.
No. I told Megan, I said, Megan, the first one's the best by far.
Yeah.
The second one is a step down, but it's still
It's
a good
pretty good.
movie. I mean, The Nun, that was freaky.
I enjoyed most
When
of
she's
the spin-off movies.
Yeah, no, I thought that was good. Boy, this third one was bad. It was boring.
I don't call it bad. I don't call it
go
boring.
ahead. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
It's not scary. It's not horror. It's a love story, and that's not what you're going in to watch. I think you're just disappointed, and the story was not what you're expecting.
Well, I'm expecting to have a horror movie from a
but
horror
that's-
series.
No, you don't get. It's not what it is.
Because
It's a
I
love
know
story
Friday the
between husband and
13th
wife.
3 should have been a love story instead of a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean it was
Nightmare on Elm
I'm
Street 3 should have
disappointed
been a
in that
love
because I
story.
mean it was
instead of-
not what I was wanting. Annabelle liked it a lot because
Of course,
it was a
it
love
was
story.
not scary.
But the thing is, she likes Ed and Lorraine. She didn't watch any of the spin-off movies. If Ed and Lorraine
really?
are not in it, she didn't care.
I get
and so
that.
she really liked this because it
fine
was
with
an
that.
Ed and Lorraine movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because the other ones are okay. They're kind of a step down for me too. The spinoffs are. I've always liked the main storyline, so I've been super excited for this Conjuring. Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna have some great stuff in it and everything. Can't wait. And I kept waiting. And I even told Megan. Megan
was not a good horror
Megan
movie at
locked
all.
herself in her room. So I'm not watching Conjuring. I'm not listening to it or anything. So I said, Megan, you could have watched this and been completely fine. There is not a single scary moment in there, and it's a horror franchise,
And it's horror.
It's supposed to be. I mean, to be honest, Conjuring is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
It's spooky. Yeah.
It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. It's so good. I love, and I think we've said this before, but the girl who's looking in the dark corner, and there's something, you never see it. That is the freakiest thing in the world. When the little girl, there's nothing here, and then the door slams, they both scream, you're like, "Yee!" Get the
That's
goosebumps.
good stuff.
It's a great, there's so many great scenes in that. And in the second one, the nun in the picture. I absolutely love that. Freaked me out. I was like, that's good stuff. So watching it, it was fun. It was really fun watching that series. And so my hopes were high. And boy, that was garbage. Are they gonna? They're not done, are they?
They're not done.
Oh.
Hopefully they go back.
I was
Thing is,
hoping they just
we
go to
had-
spin-offs now.
We had
and
new
just-
creators on this one. Hopefully the original guys come back.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
Who knew? Hey, let's take a horror movie and let's not make it scary. That's a great idea. Fans will eat that up. So I know they're going to do more spin-offs, right?
Supposedly
I don't know.
they'll go on
like,
forever.
Like, here's the thing. Megan liked the Annabelle. Megan will watch the Annabelle movies.
Yeah.
She loves those. I thought they were, after you've seen one, you see them. They kind of all run together for me.
Yeah, they're good.
I saw the Lorena, whatever,
La Lorena.
and my nephews enjoyed
I liked
that.
it. It
We
was
watched it. It was okay. It was okay.
I like the Nun a lot.
And the Nun is, the Nun's fun, but it is trope for trope horror.
It is, but
it's fun. It's
the thing
fun.
is, what
I'm
I
not
really-
dogging it. I had
thing
fun
is,
with it. I laughed.
It's a beautiful movie. I mean, it's filmed on location in
No, that's
old catacombs,
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
rundown churches, and the thing is, just the scenery and the complicated shots that they
Yeah.
got out of it was really,
There's a
was
lot
really
of
cool.
fun stuff. There's a shadow
Yeah.
coming at you. There's her floating down the hall, which is, the castle hall, which I think we saw in Conjuring 2 at the end. But that was fun. There's a lot of fun things, but it's your it's your standard
Yeah,
horror
it's nothing
movie,
stand
and
out.
and they're in the graveyard messing around. Then the nun's gonna come. She is. You know where she is. And I laughed when I watched. I mean, I enjoyed it. Meaning, I didn't mock it, thinking it's dumb. I just laughed like, this is fun. And it's not the best, but it's fun. But anyway, all right. So we're gonna stop right here because we got another good half of movies and shows that we're gonna talk about next time
Nobody cares.
on Princes of the Universe.